All right, so me and Colonel Mortimer had a fight. We had another fight. And I know I haven't reposted any videos in a while, but man, I'm really out here trying to make some money in an economy that ain't really doing what we'd like it to do. And I've got goals I want to hit within the next 30 days. So videos aren't the top priority, but this is video worthy. So I want to show you something first. I'm going to show you that gash that I got in my hand from doing this, but you can see that there's your part number. This part number, that P92-8598, that goes to DPF SCR wire harness. You see that? Suit level high. So I've got the OTR tool. You can see that flashing. It initially, back in the day, about a year ago, because I need to redo the you have to pay for the subscription. It's like $600 a year. Worth it if you ask me, but I got it. It said CAN bus error. I googled CAN bus. CAN bus means wire harness. Wire harness to the DPF SCR and all of the knock sensors that go on there. So initially I soldered the wire. Soldered the wire because I saw that there were two wires that were split. One was actually completely split from the rest of it. The other one just had a gash in it. That SCR DPF harness starts up there, comes in right here, up, and it ends or terminates right there. I hope you can still hear me. You see that red wire? That's me straight wiring or hard wiring directly into the rest of the situation going on over here. Now, I really hope you heard me. But we're in Florida. And it's the fall, the beginning of the fall. And every time in the beginning of the fall, DPF filters start getting clogged because the humidity, the rain, cold weather, whatever. I'm coming down from the north. I'm down here in Lakeland, Florida. Yes, it paid well, that's why I'm down here. But at some point when I stopped last night near Valdosta, the engine was idling high. I already knew what it was, so I came out here, I took that panel off that you see on the ground, and you know, touched the wire a little bit. I heard the engine kick down. I was able to do a regen. Regens on the OTR tool are like 45 minutes. So it only lasted like 20 minutes. So I'm like, damn, I had to get back out, take the panel back off, leave the panel off this time, fumble with that damn wiring harness, let the engine idle down, and boom, we finished the regen at about 21% soot level. I was like, that's good enough for me. I idled last night because it was hot. It's like 100 degrees. It's like 90 at night down here. But when I woke up, I realized that the idle of the engine was a little bit high. High for me on my truck is 7,000, 8,000 RPM. That's a high idle. Regular idle is about 5,000 to 6,000. So I already knew, okay, it's doing an extra 1,000 RPM. The harness is probably, you know, messed up again. So I immediately went online. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and order some flux. I already have a soldering gun. Let me order some flux. Let me order some high temperature wire ties or zip ties. And I ordered something else. I don't even remember. But it was all for the truck. I'll think about it here in a second. Anyway, as you can see, the truck is sitting here next to the receiver. And they ain't tripping on us sleeping here. And truck's idling high. I'm like, the hell with it. I'll be back on Tuesday to deal with all of that and mess with the harness at home. No. High soot level. Bing! Check engine light. Bing! And I don't mean the mill light. I mean mill light and check engine light. Both flashing at me. DPF light on. I'm like, man. So let me get under here and fumble with this wire and let it idle down and go through the process and regen it. No, it ain't having it this time. Couple hours. I'm trying to figure out if there's a split somewhere else, because I've got shrink tubing on the place where I soldered it. It's a little hard to get off unless you just cut the wire, so I don't want to mess with that. Let me see if there's a split somewhere else. No. So I'm like, let me check the connector. I take the connector apart. It's crumbling. It's crumbling because it's plastic, and the heat and weather over years has, depreciated its integrity. So once I get it off, I realize that half of the connector is broken off inside of the other half of the connector, and one of the pins is just laying loose. Damn it. How much is this gonna cost? Start looking for it. I'm like, I'll go buy it right now. But buying it right now is not an option, because no one's got it. No one ever has it. We always got to order it, and it'll be here Tuesday and all of that. Well, with a high soot level and needing to go 1,000 miles north, I'll never make it. I'll be derated by that point. So I need to figure this out now. I already done hardwired my lights, because I had an issue with one of the wires having a split out of nowhere. It just had a split and then, disconnected itself. So I did that last week. This week we had the hard wire, and as you can see, that red wire that was on there, it's much thicker than the actual wire. So I don't need to go and get me a gauge wire that matches the rest of them so that I can do it properly. Let's take a look again. Yeah, so you can even see that the aluminum heat shield that goes around the wire is even degraded. That's the other thing that I purchased. I purchased some of that on Amazon. So yeah, man, it's been rough, man. It started to rain, because that's what it does in Florida. It rains all the damn time for no reason. And man, it was really a trip. It really tested my mental yet again. But as you can see, it's idled down now. Still got that high soot level, but that's just because I wanted to record this to kind of let you guys know that that part number that I showed you for that wiring harness, which if you have a 2015 or whatever 579 Pete, will eventually go bad on you. You can hardwire right past it, and you more than likely will. And I am going to buy wire and solder and heat shrink. I'm not paying $1,400 for that wiring harness. I did see it at Vanderhags for $550. That's an option later on down the road. Right now, we're going to solder. We're going to solder wires and keep this thing running, because I've got another goal that I'm trying to hit. And we'll get back around to the SCR DPF wire harness. It will need to be replaced at some point. But for right now, it's looking good. So what I'm gonna try to do is do the regen from the OTR tool right here, if I can do it with the camera on, so it can do its regen and get that high soot level up out of there. But yeah. Oh, and while I was messing with the wires and splicing wires, I did blow the 15 amp fuse. 15 amp fuse goes in section L8. I'll show you. That's section L8, 15 amp fuse. So if you're messing around with this thing running like I was, because I needed to have it running so that when I touched wires, I could hear whether it kicked down or not. Well, if it touches metal, just be prepared to put another fuse in there. Have some wire on deck too. Doesn't matter what kind of wire. That wire went to, that I cut and put on there, went to a little heater that you can buy at, you know, Pilot or whatever truck stop. The types that you just plug into the cigarette lighter. I don't have the heater anymore. I keep wire for some reason, and thank God I do, because I was able to just cut a piece of that wire off and use that to splice and do my thing. But anyway, let's see if we can do the OTR tool thing.